So hey guys, we are in Animal Kingdom today. We're gonna go a little exploring. We're just gonna walk through a store right now, and we just went on 2 fast passes, and now we're gonna go on some rides. So just walking through a store. We kind of went the wrong way. So see the background, hear the music. Now we're gonna go exploring. I'm gonna turn around the camera so you guys can see our view. So we're in Dino Land right now. We're gonna leave Dino Land because it's kind of kiddish, but we just went to the Dinosaur USA kind of ride. So here we go.
Donald.
Still a little chilly today. And let me show you guys Donald really quickly. It's a little chilly today, but the sun really helps make it warm. So I have like a sweatshirt on and a jacket today. So we're gonna go back to Pandora, explore Pandora a little bit. I'll be catching some moments of the trip, but not everything today because I'm still tired. And it took me a long time last night to upload footage because it was a really long video. But again, we'll see how today goes. I will probably do 2 videos in one, I don't know. We'll see. I'm not gonna do too much footage today. I definitely want to get Mickey's Christmas party tonight, because we'll be going to that, so I'll get more footage of that later. But we're gonna head to Pandora, and then I'll continue filming once we get to Pandora. Show you guys.
Jumbo friends, welcome aboard the Simba 1. My name is Nathan. I'm gonna be your guide out here over the next 2 weeks on the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Now above your head, you're gonna find our animal spotting guide. There are about 37 species of animals up there we might find out here on the reserve. So let's keep our eyes out and see what we can find. First, our journey takes us into the Little Aturi Forest. The animals here have extremely good camouflage and blend in very, very well, so we need to keep our eyes out, see what we can find out here.
Oh, I found one!
You found one? On the right, it looks like the okapi up there. The okapi are commonly mistaken to be a member of the zebra family. As you can see, it's all the way in the back right, up behind those bamboo bushes there. It's mistaken to be a member of the zebra family because it has those white stripes on its back. But it's actually closest relative to a giraffe, believe it or not. It has the same facial characteristics as a giraffe, as well as a prehensile tongue, which they'll use to reach out and grab tree branches, bark, and leaves and pull back to their mouth. Now coming up here on the left by this watering hole, we've been known to find animals like the black rhinos hanging out. However, sightings of black rhinos are becoming less and less frequent. As they're critically endangered, they're being poached for their horns, which some African cultures believe have a healing power. I think I see one right up here under this tree here on the left. That's not true at all, though. Those horns are actually only made out of a protein called keratin, which is the same protein that can be found in your fingernails and hair. Right there on the left, hanging out. Now the black rhino is the smaller of the species of rhinos we might see today, only weighing about 3,000 pounds. The larger is going to be the white rhino we might see a little bit later. The white rhino weighs in at about 5,000 pounds. Up on the left here, I'll see a couple different animals. First, I see the greater kudu walking here. Could be the taller antelope there in the back, the darker gray one.
Oh, I see it right here, babe.
There's actually a couple of them down here on the left. You can see their big horns, big ears actually sticking up out of the bushes there. Second tallest antelope on the reserve, standing about 55 inches tall, measured from their shoulders. We also see some bongo up here in the back left.
Oh, look at that.
These dark brown antelope up there.
Okay.
Known as the ghosts of the forest, as they're very rarely seen. The bongo are only, are very shy animals. They keep to themselves. Now we're gonna head up towards the Safi River though and see if we can find any larger animals up here on the Safi River. You never know what we might find. Been known to find some water animals up here. Let's keep our eyes out. A lot of time in this area you'll find the animals sleeping under the water. Most of them are nocturnal animals. so keep an eye out for that. Let me know if anyone does see any animals sleeping there under the water. See a couple ducks over there, it looks like. We're going to keep moving. I'm not seeing a lot of activity here on this side of the river. We'll move up to this other side and find some hippopotamus. These are the Nile hippos. They weigh about 5,500 pounds. Spend most of their day sleeping in the water. They're most active at night under the cover of darkness, being nocturnal. They'll actually hold their breath for 8 minutes at a time underwater. On the middle island there, we also see the pinkback pelicans. One of the smaller species of pelicans in the world. The pinkback pelicans oftentimes get their pink color from right before mating season. Their backs will turn pink. Even though they're one of the smaller species of pelicans in the world, they do have a very impressive wingspan that comes in at about 7 to 9 feet wide. As we move further up the river here, on the left we see the Nile crocodiles.
Oh wow.
They stand in at about, they come about 16 to 20 feet long, making them about as long as a giraffe is tall. The crocodile can actually hold its breath when it lays completely still for 2 hours at a time underwater, like this one right here. On the left we see under the water. A couple of them down there actually. Crocodiles will actually go a few minutes at a time without eating anything and then eat one large meal. They'll eat about half their body weight in one sitting in that large meal. We're going to keep moving here and see what else we can find. We're going to head up towards the Serengeti grasslands now and check out the animals up there, see what we can find. Looks like we found a baobab tree. Baobab trees are often called the upside down tree, as it looks like their roots are growing straight up from the ground. These trees are often leafless like this for about 9 months of the year, which gives them that appearance of their roots there. They're also known as the tree of life. Inside the large tree trunks, all you'll find are several hundred gallons of fresh water. So should any animal on the savannah need to find water, and they can, all they have to do is find one of those big trees, and actually they can break right in the base of it and find as much fresh water as they need. Now we are entering the Serengeti grasslands here, home to some of the more iconic animals out here on the reserve. Animals like the giraffes, the Ankole cattle, the springbok. There are the Ankole cattle right away. We can see straight through there, those longhorn cattle. We'll get over there in a few minutes to see them. They're primarily used as a form of currency here in Africa, though not in terms used of work, but used as a status symbol. The longhorns on their heads grow to be anywhere from about 4 to 6 feet long, have a diameter at the base about 16 to 20 inches. Very lightweight though. They have a honeycomb structure on the inside. Their horns are actually used to cool their body off. The blood from their body will get pumped up into those horns, cooled off, and then pumped back down into their body. Let's see, we'll keep moving here. We're keeping an eye out for a predator here on the left. Appears to be some sort of predator den. I'm not sure what we might find in here. Let me know if anyone sees any predators.
Hyena.
Right here on the left, this is the spotted hyena. 2 of them there actually. They hunt in packs and are actually very good at sustainability. They will eat pretty much anything they can find and get their hands on, their paws on, all the way down to the hoofs and even the eyes of the animals. They'll also break the bones because they do have a very strong bite and feed on the bone marrow found on the inside of any animal they might capture. Now straight ahead, these are the springbok. Springbok are one of the smallest antelopes on the reserve here. They only weigh about 100 pounds each. They're very fast animals though. They're actually one of the 10 fastest land animals on the planet. Springbok's top speed comes in at about 50 miles an hour. They actually, they'll get their name from their ability to jump. A springbok's able to jump 6 feet directly in the air from a standstill position. We're getting closer to those Ankole cattle here I see, as well as the white-bearded wildebeest. Here in the left and right as we go through this little clearing, we are going to see the white-bearded wildebeest. They're a migratory species. They normally travel in herds. Usually in the hundreds to thousands are these white-bearded wildebeest herds. But the largest recorded ever actually come in at about 1.5 million.
They're on my side. Oh, there's some on your side too.
Their top speed's about 35 miles an hour. A couple more springbok in the back there. Looks like there's a giraffe up there on the hill to the left. Up there on that left side, right above that tree, you can kind of see those spots hanging out over top of the bush there. It does look like a giraffe. Way in the back there, you can kind of see those spots right there, just that little arch there of those spots. We're gonna see if we can find some more giraffes though out here. I have a feeling we might be able to.
Look at that one.
Oh, even better.
Here are the wildebeest again, the white-bearded wildebeest. You'll notice their faces, they have those very long faces, which is where they actually get their name from. As when the original tribes first found these animals, they thought they were looking at wild beasts, as they have those very long faces that are very dark, as well as those big eyes and the horns on their heads. Here's a couple Ankole cattle as well right here on the right. Maybe the reason we might have slowed up there for a little bit. Looks like they might have just got out of the road here. You'll see just how big these horns actually are here on these cattle. Extremely large.
Wow, look, babe.
We also see another giraffe here on the left. This is a Maasai giraffe. We can tell by looking at its spots. It has those jagged edges to its spots, just like the one we saw up on the hill. A couple of them are here on the left, actually. Looks like there's a younger one actually up here in the back left corner. A couple young ones up there. In the last 12 months here on the reserve, we've actually had about 5 younger giraffes born.
Close up there.
Giraffes on average only sleep about 30 minutes a day, remaining active for the 23.5 hours of the day. And they often won't sleep for 30 minutes at once. They're going to break it up into a series of naps that last anywhere from about 1 to 5 minutes in length. They oftentimes will also sleep even standing up.
That's big.
Now straight ahead I see an elephant here on the right. Appears to be an African elephant. You can just tell by the size there of those ears. You can see its back is covered in all that dust, dirt, and hay as well. That's actually something they do to prevent their backs from getting sunburned. They'll throw the dust and dirt, it's called a dust bath, onto their back. Now it's safe to say this is actually a male elephant. There's no other elephants in this area right now except for that one male here. Elephants are a matriarchal species that run by the females. So whenever you see an elephant like this alone, usually a male elephant. It's like getting a nice snack there.
Oh, look at him grab it.
Now the forest like this in Africa is where we do find animals like the elephants hanging out. However, these forests are actually becoming endangered. They're being mined for a mineral that's called coltan. Coltan is a mineral found in everyday electronics like cell phones, camera batteries, smaller household electronics. So one way you can help animals like the elephants in their habitats is actually by recycling your used electronics when you're done with them, taking them either to a local electronics store or to a department store. They'll be able to be recycled responsibly then. That way the coltan can be reused, put in a new device, and it'll actually help cut down on the destructive mining of it here in the elephant's habitats. See some tusk marks here on the right. Possibly some more elephants through here recently. The elephants like to come over and break up that red clay as it contains several vitamins and minerals they still need for their diet. Speaking of an elephant's diet, on average an elephant will eat anywhere between 300 to 500 pounds of food a day, as well as drink about 43 gallons of water a day. Now in Kenya, farmers actually were having a problem with the elephants breaking into their farms and stealing their food. So what they did is they worked with the local scientists and found out that elephants actually were very afraid of bees. So they were able then to put beehives up all around the outside of their farms, which helped to keep the elephants away. It also acted as another source of income for the farmers, as they were then able to harvest the honey from the bees and sell it at their local markets. We're going to keep creeping around here, see what we can find here by the water. Watering holes are great places to find animals hanging out. Looks like we see here the flamingos. A group of flamingos is called a flamboyance. These are the greater flamingos. They stand in at about 5 feet tall and actually get their color from their diet, which consists primarily of brine shrimp. The brine shrimp contains a vitamin called beta-carotene that when they consume enough will actually turn their feathers that pink color. If you look at that middle island as well, the flamingos are on, you'll notice it's the largest hidden Mickey here at Disney's Animal Kingdom. We're gonna head over here into the east side of the reserve and see what else we can find out here. Looking for animals like the lions, the cheetahs, the white rhinos, the ostrich, to name a few. So let's keep our eyes out and see what we can find here. Not seeing a lot of activity down that path. We'll keep an eye out. We've been known to see the fastest land animal on the planet coming up here on the left, so we need to keep an eye out for that. Let's see, they do move at speeds of up to 60 miles an hour though. So try not to blink, you might miss them. They can't keep that top speed up for very long though. Only about 200 yards, and then they'll have to rest. Looks like there's one up here walking on the left. This is in fact a cheetah.
Oh my God.
Cheetahs are the largest cats in the world that can still purr. Let's see. As well as the only felines in the world that have non-retractable claws. We're coming up now onto the Kobe as well. The Kobe is a large gathering of rocks that overlooks the grasslands. Oftentimes animals will use this as a gathering place to hang out.
There's a lion,
it looks like
babe.
I see a couple lions up here on the top to start. It looks like there's a male sleeping up on that rock in the middle and a female actually laying down right in front of him. We'll get around the front here and see if we get a better view of this female's face and maybe his face as well. Lions are mostly nocturnal animals. They sleep a lot during the day. They're most active at night under the cover of darkness. The lion's roar can be heard about 5 miles across the grasslands. And their night vision is actually 6 times greater than their day vision, which is why they're more active at night. On the right, that's a bontabuck. Bontabuck's going to be that smaller antelope. In the early 19th century, only about 17 bontabuck left in the world. They were poached for their fur, but luckily they made their way onto reserves like ours and at some local farms, and their numbers are starting to increase again. Let's see here.
There's the lions, babe.
We got a nice view there of the male face actually right from this angle. And the female's right by that rock you see, kind of looking straight ahead. Now, believe it or not, lions are actually becoming endangered. Less than 20,000 lions left in the world, being poached for their fur. But hopefully with the help of conservation groups like Protect the Pride and some others, their numbers will be able to be doubled by the year 2050. We'll keep moving here, see what else we can find. Looks like there's some ostrich eggs up here ahead of us.
Oh, right there.
Ostrich eggs weigh about 3 pounds each and actually have a very hard outer shell. It's hard enough, in fact, that a human could stand on it and it wouldn't crack. Very, very hard. Oftentimes during the day, the ostrich will leave their eggs out in the open like that to be incubated by the sun. And what will happen is at night, the ostrich will return back closer to the eggs to just watch over them overnight. It does take about 45 days though for an ostrich egg to hatch. Now we're going to be heading into the Magadi Glen, one of the newer sections here on the reserve, made possible by the Disney Conservation Fund. Known for its luscious green lands and its hot springs. Let's see though what else we can find out here. Down that path on the right, that's the scimitar horned oryx way back there. One of my favorite animals out here on the reserve. It's mostly was found in northern Africa in the deserts, but it's actually extinct in the wild, now only found on reserves. It was found mostly in northern Africa. Its body temperature frequently reaches up to about 115 degrees Fahrenheit. And it actually gets its name from the horns on its head that resemble that of a scimitar blade found in the Middle East. Now, since 1995, when the Conservation Fund was started, Disney, with all of our friends here at Animal Kingdom, has been able to donate more than $35 million to different conservation groups all around the world, like Protect the Pride that we talked about and many more. If you'd like to help today and become a conservation hero, you can do that right here at the park, simply by visiting any merchandise or food and beverage location. Simply ask them to round your purchase up to the nearest dollar. Any amount left over will be donated to the Conservation Fund.
Babe.
And while in the park today, Disney will actually match dollar for dollar, penny for penny, any amount donated to the Conservation Fund. Now, if I have any Wilderness Explorers on board today, you're traveling on the Simba 1, SIMBA1. Page 15 of your Wilderness Explorer handbook is the Safari Badge. The Wilderness Explorers do leave, unfortunately, at 4:45 today. So if you do miss getting the badge, you can...
Alright guys, we are leaving Animal Kingdom. We're heading over to Magic Kingdom. We're going to have some dinner. Then Christmas, Mickey's Christmas party begins at 7 o'clock. So we had fun at Animal Kingdom. I didn't film a lot because it's just kind of cold and the park was a little crowded, so I didn't want to film a lot. But I'll film as much as I can at Mickey's Christmas party. Well, I'll see you guys there.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. With the kids jingle belling and everyone telling you be on the cheer. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's the happiest season of all. With those holiday greetings and gay happy meetings when friends come to call. It's the happiest season of all.
There'll be parties for hosting, marshmallows for toasting, and caroling out in the snow.
There'll be sharing of stories and tales of the glories of Christmas and long ago.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. There'll be much mistletoeing and hearts will be glowing when loved ones are near. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Look who's here!
It's Mickey and his friends!
Hi, everybody! Welcome to our most merriest celebration! Merry Christmas!
Happy holidays!
We wish you the merriest, the merriest.
The merriest?
Yes, the merriest!
We wish you the merriest, the merriest, the merriest you'll cheer. We wish you the happiest, the happiest.
The happiest? Yes, the happiest!
We wish you the happiest, the happiest, the happiest new year.
May your tree be filled with happiness! Happiness for all!
May your heart be filled with friendliness.
With happiness and cheerfulness and friendliness for all. We wish you the happiest, the happiest, the happiest, yes, the happiest. We wish you the merriest, the merriest, the merriest you'll cheer. It's the most merriest time of the year.
Gosh, it looks a lot like Christmas! Right, Gabe? With all the decorations!
And presents.
And friends!
Whoa, wait a minute. We're missing Donald.
Huh, I wonder where he is.
I really hoped he'd be here by now. Text him. Well, he's not very tech savvy, but I'll try. This holiday, you'll be far away, and I'll be all alone. So please remember this December to fully charge your phone. I know. We all should invite our friends. Great idea, Minnie.
Gosh, where's my phone?
Text me Merry Christmas in my holiday complete.
Though you're far from me, say you'll be on me. That's a text I'll never delete.
Choose just the right emoji, one that makes me LOL.
And if you text me something silly, I promise I won't tell.
A Facebook message isn't quite as sweet.
Just a tweet.
A snap on Snapchat doesn't last. And a voicemail that's from Christmas past. Woo!
It's Donald. He must have gotten my text. Hello? It's been a long time to be missing you. You're on your way now, Donald, and I'm over the moon. Everything's all in place, but there is one thing clear. Christmas isn't Christmas till you get here. There's a present by the fireplace that
Well, we're glad you're here now.
Oh, it looks like she got my text.
This is gonna be great.
Please help me welcome my dear friend, the diva of dairy, Miss Clarabelle Cow.
I don't want a lot for Christmas. There is just one thing I need. I don't care about the presents underneath the Christmas tree. I just want you for my own, more than you could ever know. Make my wish come true. Sing it with me, dear. All I want for Christmas is you.
Well, looky there.
She's wonderful. You, baby, oh.
Sounds like a yodeling cowgirl.
Oh boy, my friends are here. Christmas time's a-comin', Christmas time's a-comin', Christmas time's a-comin', and I know I'm going home. Howdy, everybody. Glad you're here, 'cause it ain't Christmas without a good old ho-ho-ho down.
Just like we celebrate back home.
Come on, everybody, put your hands together.
Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year. And I don't know if there'll be snow, but have a cup of cheer. Have a holly jolly Christmas. And when you walk down the street, say hello to friends you know and everyone you meet. Oh, hold the mistletoe hung where you can see. Somebody waits for you, is there once for me. Have a holly jolly Christmas, and in case you didn't hear, oh my golly, have a holly jolly Christmas this year. Yeah! Take a first sleigh ride, Goofy!
Grab your partner, don't say no. Ho, 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 now, here we go.
Yes, sir! Get after it!
This is fun.
Pick on that guitar for me, Cheryl. Yeah! Well, butter my biscuits, Miss Jessie. Pick up. Yes, ma'am. We're moving now. Let's take it home. Can you hear the bells ringing, ringing, joy, joy, hear them singing? There's no light. We're going back to our country home. Christmas time's a-comin', Christmas time's a-comin', Christmas time's a-comin', and I know I'm going home. Yeehaw!
What was that?
¡Feliz Navidad, amigos! Boa noite! ¡Feliz Navidad!
Welcome to the party.
Haha! The please, caballeros, reunited again for the holidays! Time to celebrate!
All right, chicos, let's do this. 1, 2, 3. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Prospero año de felicidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Prospero año de felicidad. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. together at Christmas time.
That's what makes the holidays so special.
Whether you're far apart
We're making new traditions.
or visiting with old friends.
Wherever you find love, it feels like Christmas. It's in the singing of the street corner choir.
It's going home and getting warm by the fire.